Monster Lords Reborn, Victor's Arc, Part 1, Chapter 2, The Land of the Forgotten Dead. The first thing Victor noticed was the silence. Not the silence of an empty room, nor the peaceful silence of a forest. This was the silence of a place where life itself had long ago departed. He slowly opened his eyes. A ceiling of cracked gray stone stretched above him, covered in hanging roots that had pushed through centuries-old masonry. Small droplets of water fell from the cracks, echoing through the chamber. Where? His voice bounced through the darkness. He sat upright. He was lying upon an enormous stone slab inside what looked like an abandoned mausoleum. The air smelled of damp earth, old parchment, rotting wood, and something else. A faint metallic scent. Blood. Except there was none. Victor instinctively placed a hand against his chest. His heartbeat was slower than he remembered. Strong. Powerful. Yet strangely calm. I don't feel alive, he frowned. And I'm definitely not dead either. Standing, he brushed centuries of dust from his clothes, or what remained of them. The clothes he had died in were gone. Instead, he wore a long black coat, fastened with bronze buckles, reinforced leather trousers, heavy boots, and dark gloves stitched together with silver thread. He blinked. Very Gothic. His fingers unconsciously brushed his forearm. There, beneath the sleeve, were stitches. Perfectly straight, silver in color, running across his skin like carefully sewn seams. He rolled his sleeve higher. His entire arm bore similar markings. Across his shoulder, his chest, even around his neck. Not scars, not wounds. The stitches pulsed faintly with blue-white light. Promethean. The word escaped his lips before he even realized it, as though the crest itself had whispered the answer. Suddenly, a translucent window unfolded before him. Monster Lord System. Name: Victor Hale. Race: Promethean. Title: First Monster Lord. Crest: Promethean Sovereign. Dominion rank: Fledgling. Territory: none. Followers: 0. Kingdom core: dormant. Unique authorities: Adapted flesh, Master of creation, Lord of the restless. Objective: claim a territory. Victor stared. This really is another world. His lips slowly curled upward. Awesome. He pushed open the mausoleum doors. The ancient stone groaned. Sunlight never greeted him. Instead, an eerie moon hung motionless in a sky swallowed by endless storm clouds. Lightning flashed somewhere beyond the horizon. The landscape stretched farther than he could see. Rows and rows of graves thousands, maybe millions, of crooked tombstones that rose from black earth. Broken statues of forgotten heroes leaned sideways beneath creeping vines. Ruined churches stood abandoned among forests of dead trees. Entire villages had become cemeteries. Victor stood speechless. This is one giant graveyard. A breeze drifted across the endless necropolis. It carried whispers, hundreds of them, perhaps thousands. He couldn't make out the words, only sorrow. Crunch. Victor looked down. A hand had erupted from the soil beside his foot. Another, and another. The ground burst open. Skeletons clawed their way free. Rusted swords, broken shields, ancient armor, barely hanging together. 1, 10, 50, hundreds. Victor instinctively took a step back. Well, this escalated quickly. Without warning, a skeleton charged him. Victor raised his arm on instinct. Crack! The skeleton's skull exploded. Its body collapsed into a pile of scattered bones. Victor blinked. I hit that a little harder than I expected. The next skeleton lunged. Victor grabbed its wrist. The arm detached completely. He swung the detached arm like a club. 3 more skeletons shattered. Okay, I am definitely stronger than I used to be. Something strange happened. The skeletons ignored their fallen comrades. Instead, they attacked another group climbing from nearby graves. Zombies. Rotting corpses stumbled forward. The skeletons immediately abandoned Victor. Both groups collided. Bones flew everywhere. Zombies split skeletons. Skeletons hacked zombies apart. Victor simply stood there. They're fighting each other. A howl echoed through the graveyard. Ghostly wolves emerged. And they immediately attacked everyone. Skeletons, zombies, and even Victor himself. What kind of ecosystem is this? Hours passed. Victor cautiously explored. The deeper he walked, the stranger the cemetery became. Entire battlefields lay buried beneath the earth. Ancient mausoleums housed floating spirits. Headless corpses wandered aimlessly. Massive skeletal beasts rested beneath hillsides. Yet none worked together. Every undead creature fought everything nearby. There was no order, just endless war. Then, excuse me, Victor spun around. Hovering beside a weathered gravestone was the translucent figure of an old man. Unlike the others, he wasn't attacking. He simply looked tired, very tired. You can understand me? Victor asked. The ghost chuckled. I should hope so. I've been speaking many languages, including this one, for nearly 400 years. Victor smiled. My name's Victor. The old ghost bowed politely. I am Edmund, former caretaker of the Black Hollow Cemetery. Victor looked around. Cemetery? Edmund laughed bitterly. My young lord, this ceased being merely a cemetery centuries ago. He slowly floated upward. From atop a broken mausoleum, Victor finally saw its true scale. The cemetery extended beyond the horizon. Cathedrals, ruined cities, forgotten kingdoms, entire mountain ranges of graves. What you're looking at, Edmund whispered, is the necropolis of Black Hallow, the largest resting place of the Umbral continent. Victor swallowed. How many dead? No one knows. As they continued walking, Edmund spoke. The dead were once united. They had a king, a lord, laws, purpose. But centuries ago, the great necromancer vanished and was slain. No one inherited his throne. The cemetery fractured. Now, there are only warlords. Victor stopped. How many? Edmund slowly raised 4 fingers. 4. The first, a distant horn echoed across the valley. Far away, an army marched in perfect formation. Thousands of skeleton soldiers. Spears glinting beneath crimson moonlight. At their head rode a regal skeleton, wearing a magnificent crown of polished bone and tattered royal robes. The Skeleton King, master of discipline. Another direction, a thunderous neigh. Ghostly blue flames erupted across a ruined road. A towering armored knight rode a black spectral horse. He carried his own severed head beneath one arm. The Dullahan, lord of the headless riders. The earth itself shook. A mountain of stitched corpses slowly emerged from a marsh. Hundreds of bodies fused into one impossible giant. The corpse tyrant, master of flesh. And finally, the sky darkened. Green fire danced around the tallest ruined cathedral. Floating above it, a skeletal figure draped in ancient robes held a staff crowned with a growing and glowing. A skeletal figure draped in ancient robes held a staff crowned with a glowing crystal. Even from kilometers away, Victor felt overwhelming magical pressure. The Lich Sovereign, master of death magic. Edmund lowered his voice. For nearly 300 years they have fought. None can defeat the others, so the cemetery remains divided. Victor folded his arms, then smiled. Sounds convenient. Edmund blinked. Convenient? Victor nodded towards the 4 distant rulers. They've already organized everyone for me. What? If I beat them, their followers won't have anyone else to follow. The old ghost stared. Young lord, those 4 command tens of thousands. Victor laughed. Yeah, but I only need to fight 1 today. He looked towards the marching skeletal army. Skeletons don't get tired. They don't bleed. They rely on structure, formation, discipline. Victor cracked his knuckles. Let's see how well discipline can work against a bit of chaos. As he began walking towards the endless army of bones, the silver stitches across his body glowed brighter with every step. Deep within his soul, the Promethean crest stirred, as if anticipating the first piece of a much greater creation.